Pokemon Radical Red is a difficulty ROM hack made by Supercell and their friends to bring all the modern Pokemon and mechanics to the Kanto region in Fire Red. They upped the difficulty by making boss battles much harder than any vanilla Pokemon game, and allow any of the Fire, Water, and Grass starters available up to Gen 9 Scarlet and Violet to be chosen, including the Hisuian regional forms. I wanted to rank these starters based on how good they are because Radical Red buffs several mediocre Pokemon to help them keep up. Due to there being 30 Pokemon to cover, I will assume you understand the basics of each Pokemon. Torterra is slow, Charizard is 4 times weak to rock, and Mega Swampert is OP, etc, etc. For transparency, I haven't played past Sword and Shield because this game's so terrible, but I do understand that all starters are better when they have their hidden abilities, and you can't normally get their hidden abilities in game, so they're going to be at least bare minimum better. As a general rule, all starters are good for Brock, so early game opportunity cost isn't as important as it would be in Vanilla Fire Red, where Charmander is way worse than Bulbasaur or Squirtle. And since all starters can be gotten from the Egg Salesman in Celadon City, ignoring a bad starter until you can EV train it and unlock the hidden ability, and get perfect IVs is much more doable. It's much easier in this game to ignore. There are no C tier or below Pokemon. Every starter is good. The rules we'll be going over for this list is I'm going to be assuming that you're playing Radical Red on easy mode or normal mode, that you're going to be EV training your Pokemon, so no minimal grinding. You're going to be using set mode, and you're not going to use bag items in battle, and whenever possible, you're not going to overlevel on easy mode, and you're actually going to try and underlevel. It's very doable. So, no overleveling. The original Grass starter is just as great of a pick as it was in Fire Red, even better with access to its Mega Evolution after Silph Co Giovanni, or Lieutenant Surge depending on whether or not you're playing in New Game Plus. Thick Fat resisting Fire and Ice type transforms Venusaur into a bulky attacker with good recovery options in Giga Drain and Leech Seed, Stab, Sludge Bomb, and coverage in Earth Power, while Chlorophyll's double in speed and Sun makes base Venusaur an insanely fast sleeper, with Sleep Powder, which lets it sweep with growth-boosted Solar Beam and Weather Ball. It also gains Core Blast, Hisuian Electrode signature move, to nuke with a Choice Specs or Scarf. Venusaur was altered very little in Rad Red, mostly getting access to tools most games wouldn't give you, since he was already pretty good, so he'll be hopping into the A tier.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Not the best since power creep exists, but very good. Game Freak's favorite child is back, bringing both Mega Evolutions he got from Gen 6. Mega Charizard X is the way cooler of the two, and got buffed by Rad Red giving him Blaze Kick, which is now perfectly accurate and boosted by Tough Claws to an effective 110 base power with no recoil. He can run Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, and excellent coverage options in Brick Break, Thunder Punch, and Earthquake, or it can run Dual Wing Beat for cases where staying in base before evolving is better, similar to Pokemon like Gyarados or Audino. Mega Charizard Y is the same menace it always is, spamming Sun-boosted Fire Stab off its enormous special attack stat, and taking advantage of the Sun to fire off Solar Beam to hit water and rocks that would stand in its way. It now has 100% accurate Air Slash thanks to Radical Red, and Scorching Sands for coverage. Charizard Y enables Sun teams while also abusing the weather itself, which is worth noting more than ever with Paradox Pokemon like Fluttermane and Raging Bolt, as well as weather abusers like Ogerpon and Chiyu available. Just like Venusaur, Charizard benefits from the Sun in base with Solar Power, an ability that boosts damage by 1.5 times, if you want to use your Mega for something stronger or cooler while having a mini Charizard Y. But Charizard easily soars into the S tier thanks to its Megas. The bronze medal of the Kanto starters, Blastoise struggles to stand out compared to all the other water starters on offer now in Radical Red, let alone all the water types in the game. Its Mega Evolution is available and it eventually gets Shell Smash for some of the craziest sweeps imaginable, but compared to most moves, Shell Smash is extremely late at level 82, meaning it's basically just for the Elite Four. What that means is we instead have Water Pulse, Aura Sphere, and Dark Pulse all boosted by Mega Launcher, with Ice Beam's coverage being worth the dip in power, and other Water Stab like Flip Turn, Scald, and Water Spout having their uses. Base Blastoise is severely power crept, and Rain Dish's HP recovery isn't the buff Chlorophyll and Solar Power are. But if you love them, you can make it work, of course. I think Blastoise, thanks almost entirely to its Mega, launches into the B tier.
あの時僕が言ってほしかったのは
君はヒーローになれる
夢は現実に
Meganium fans, are you ready? Meganium is amazing in Radical Red. Despite some middling stats by Gen 9 standards, Meganium can get away with only Running Stab thanks to Rad Red granting it the amazing Fairy typing, and can ignore its speed with its inability Triage, Comfy signature ability, which replaces Leaf Guard and gives priority to healing moves. Running a set of Giga Drain, Synthesis, Draining Kiss, and Dazzling Gleam, Meganium makes good use of its physical defense with Rocky Helmet to stack chip damage, or an Assault Vest to become unkillable on the special side. While unrecognizable from its vanilla appearances, this is definitely for the better, and Meganium is now right at home where it belongs, in the S tier.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! That's what it's all about! Woo!
You're just a cheap fucking knockoff. Oh no. I'm the upgrade.
Johtonian Typhlosion has lived in Charizard's shadow ever since Game Freak decided to copy-pasta Charizard's stats, but did manage to distinguish itself from the more iconic starter after gaining Eruption, abusing it with Choice Specs or Scarf. Radical Red buffed him by granting him a brand new ability, Blazing Soul, which gives priority to Fire-type moves at full health, heavily inspired by Talonflame's Gale Beams. With this, Specs Eruption usually moves first and melts the opposition, and for more freedom, you can just use Charcoal instead. But the beauty of Typhlosion comes from another Rad Red addition, Will-O-Wisp, which is buffed to always hit if the user is a Fire type. Priority 100% accurate burn can shut down a good number of physical threats if you can get Typhlosion in at full health. And a Charcoal boosted Flamethrower still hits pretty hard. This leaves one move slot left, and Scorching Sands, Aura Spear, or Power Herb Solar Beam can hit the rock types that resist your stab and threaten a KO in return. It really is Typhlosion time, and he's gonna Typhlode all the way to the S time. S tier. Look at him go!
Bullshit! This is an outrage! I'm into fat bitches! Down with the queen! Great! Does the queen have that yacht? Man, shut your bitch!
Feraligatr might have gotten some new tricks, but he's still missing the O in his name. The fact that Totodile's water starter ability Torrent is replaced by default with Sheer Force makes up for this, as most level up and early TM moves besides Aqua Jet gets boosted by Sheer Force like Rock Tomb and Bite, and makes Totodile and Croconaut particularly strong early game picks. With Liquidation, Crunch, and Ice Punch, Sheer Force Feraligatr is a scary Dragon Dance Life Orb sweeper, thanks to a strange interaction where Life Orb's recoil is ignored by Sheer Force. But the new hidden ability given to Feraligatr is Strong Jaw, boosting biting moves by an even higher amount than Sheer Force, giving it more vicious stab in Aqua Fang and coverage Ice Fang, and Dreadnought's signature Jaw Lock to abuse with Dragon Dance. Feraligatr, when compared to its vanilla outings, is frighteningly powerful. And out of fear, I must put him in the S tier.
腕が4本、顔が2つある仮想の鬼神。
先生とどっちが強い？
そうだね。力のすべてを取り戻したスクナならちょっとしんどいかな。
負けちゃう？
勝つさ。
Insert Pokemon Mystery Dungeon reference. Sceptile has been buffed by Radical Red, gaining the Dragon typing before Mega Evolving, and its Mega was buffed by swapping the almost useless Lightning Rod for Technician, an ability that powers up moves below 60 base power, letting it use Dual Chop, Scale Shot, Bullet Seed, Rock Tomb, and a choice in further coverage in Double Kick, Earthquake, or Cut, which is a 75 base power Steel type move in Radical Red. Base Sceptile has some support options with the incredible Shed Tail at level 85, the ability Unburden to double speed on Focus Sash Swords Dance setup sets, and a fast substitute leech seed combo with leftovers to wear down an enemy. Sceptile is very versatile, but as someone who has used it in Radical Red, it tends to fall just shy of being the best as a Mega, and it really wants to Mega Evolve. So we'll be putting him up in the A tier for almost as good as Kecleon.
God may have created food, but the devil created spices.
Blaziken has access to its Mega Evolution, and more importantly, its hidden ability Speed Boost, which raises speed by 1 stage at the end of each turn, making it the Uber you know and love. With a Swords Dance Focus Sash set, Blaze Kick, Close Combat, and a coverage move like Thunder Punch, Blaziken invalidates several teams that lack priority. And as if that wasn't enough, it now gets Hisuian Decidueye's triple arrows for clutch crits, and more importantly flinches, to kinda just bullshit through Sturdy and Sashmons. While nowhere near as good, Striker is a fun OC ability added by Rad Red that buffs kicking moves, giving it a strong and accurate Blaze Kick, and a riskier but deadlier high jump kick. With Striker being only available in base, you could run Selakberry with Stone Edge and Hone Claws to compensate for the accuracy, and Combusken does get Striker instead of Blaze, which makes it a stronger early game choice. Mega Blaziken does have a higher immediate level of power and speed, which can be important, and arguably uses the recoil moves Blaziken gets to better run a 4 attacking set of Flare Blitz, High Jump Kick, Brave Bird, and Stone Edge for a riskier but stronger starting point. The fact that Blaziken can actually outclass its Mega, with its Mega being one of the best in the game, means there is no question Blaziken will be S tier, finger kicking good.
KO by 1 hit! It's scattered spike!
You got my heart, got my mind. I think about you all the time. You shoot my blood pressure through the sky. If you leave my side.
Swampert is known to be one of the most dominant of his era, and we're all anxious to know how Radical Red will affect his legacy. Mega Swampert is almost an auto-include on rain teams, which are some of the strongest teams that can be built in Radical Red, thanks to Swift Swim doubling speed. Swampert in rain will usually outspeed most normal Pokemon and even Choice Scarfers to an extent to where he gets to be EV'd funky, investing in his speed and attack with enough left over to add bulk, just in case that rain-boosted Waterfall doesn't one-shot or flinch the enemy. Getting Ice Punch to beat your one weakness and stab Earthquake, Swampert has 1 slot left which can fit depending on your team. Flip Turn for deadly pivoting back to Pelipper, Stealth Rock for hazard support, or Knock Off to ruin enemies that depend on their items. Base Swampert is stuck with Torrent or Damp, which blocks Explosion, but this has been significantly less valuable since Gen 5. So Swampert is just kind of a slow pivot with a good defensive typing and bulk. Thanks to being an invaluable member of Rain, however, Swampert really can't go lower than S tier. Easily one of the worst starters in vanilla. The real question is whether or not Torterra is the real deal now, and thanks to Gen 9 giving Torterra Shell Smash, and Radical Red replacing Shell Armor with Rock Head, which prevents recoil damage, Torterra finally actually has the status its fanboys want it to have so bad. Shell Smash, Wood Hammer, and Headlong Rush leave room for Rad Red's next gift, Head Smash, to hit every one of its weaknesses. As perfect as this sounds, it unfortunately is just a little too slow on normal mode to outspeed Scarfers, so unless you can get multiple Shell Smashes off, you won't be sweeping. But this means you might just try to get all those smashes off with its new ability from Radical Red, Self-Sufficient, which restores 1/16 HP at the end of every turn, identical to Leftovers. With a White Herb and Self-Sufficient, you might run Flapple's signature Grav Apple and Rock Slide, which is fully accurate now, for no recoil, at +4 and then sweep. To help the Torterra lobby even more, thanks to Self-Sufficient being a normal ability, this means that you can save Scum to get it from Oak's Lab, which helps it significantly early on. While not the best starter even with all this, This is almost as good of a glove as Meganium, and he's going straight to the A tier. You'd love to see it.
I mean, it's alright, like.
Infernape is arguably the strongest starter you have access to in any Pokemon game, relative to the power level of Gen 4 and its competition in Sinnoh. While I would say he's still a good Pokemon, it's not for the same reasons as before. Due to his amazing speed, access to Swords Dance and Iron Fist boosting punching moves, it can run Fire Punch, Close Combat, and Thunder Punch for big damage. This is pretty good, but the actual use of Infernape in this game comes from its speed in tandem with its move pool. Because the late game devolves into lead matchups to set up Stealth Rock, and Infernape has an extremely fast Haunt, as well as Stealth Rock itself, with a Focus Sash, Infernape can guarantee rocks for you. A buff by Radical Red is Cinderace's Pyro Ball, so it can attack with a powerful stab on 1 HP, and even boost that damage with Blaze, which boosts fire moves at 33% HP or lower. With Focus Sash Pyro Ball, Infernape has good damage with no recoil, and controls hazards, or could even use the fully accurate Will-O-Wisp to weaken a physical attacker for another Pokemon to set up on, in exchange for attacking options. He's not as much of a powerhouse as before, but still an excellent pick, S tier for sure. While Piplup might be one of the cutest starters ever, Empoleon struggles to use its previously unique Water Steel typing to its utmost, but having received competitive in the Indigo Disc DLC, it can now take advantage of stat drops to raise its special attack to +2, which it takes further advantage of with Radical Red gifting him Goldango's Make It Rain for a 120 base power stab move. On top of Hydro Pumper's Scald and a coverage move like Air Slash or Ice Beam, Empoleon can run Agility in case it can get off competitive for a +2/+2 sweep. But this set will depend on your stats being lowered by your opponent, which is inconsistent, and the power of Make It Rain, which will reduce your special attack every time you land it, as well as the inaccuracy of Hydro Pump or weaker power of Scald. I do think Empoleon's strengths are highlighted much better with competitive instead of Defiant, but I actually think the power creep of Rad Red is harsher compared to Sinnoh, meaning Empoleon is now a worse pick than other starters and can only really outclass Blastoise in the B tier.
Okay, it's time for one of our favorite games on the show called What If It Was Purple? Up first we have a pencil.
Not to be a contrarian, but I like Serperior's design losing its limbs as it evolves. Serperior's entire identity has been defined since Gen 6 by Contrary, which inverts stat changes due to its stab on Leaf Storm, which raises special attack by 2 stages instead of lowering it. With an excellent speed tier, Hidden Power Fire or Rock, Radical Red Flash, which is 60 base power and electric, and Giga Drain for recovery, Serperior makes excellent use of its natural bulk with an Assault Vest, or can run Life Orb to help overcome Grass's poor offensive coverage. The other direction to complement Leaf Storm sweeps are using its speed defensively, similar to Sceptile with Substitute Leech Seed, fully accurate Glare for paralysis, and leftovers to support its team whenever it can't pull off the 6-0 itself. While this is an incredibly simple Pokemon, this by no means makes it bad, and the ability to fire off Z-move level attacks that double as Nasty Plot is as powerful as it sounds. It truly is the superior choice. S tier.
I hate fat bitches! Just kidding, nigga. I actually like fat bitches. I fuck with BBWs, nigga.
The coolest of the firefighter startings is here, and brother, it's time to oink. Emboar's Blaze was replaced with its hidden ability Reckless, boosting recoil moves and power, making Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and especially Head Smash devastating options, as well as its new best move added by Radical Red, High Jump Kick, giving him monstrous power. This set is the same problem it always had in speed, which is where Rad Red's next gift comes in, by giving Emboar the new original ability Bull Rush, boosting power by 20%, just like Reckless, and speed by 50% like a Choice Scarf, on the first turn Emboar is in battle. This ability makes Emboar surprisingly fast and just as strong as Reckless, meaning it can snipe a shocking amount of enemies with a hit-and-run Choice Scarf set, or get off a clutch fully accurate Will-O-Wisp to slow down a physical attacker. Combined with Sucker Punch for priority, Emboar is a decently versatile and very powerful Pokemon, but just a bit too slow to consistently contribute, and so I can only see Emboar as a low A-tier Pokemon. What if Emboar got a low A-tier fade? The path of the Samurai is one wrought by hardship. Thankfully, Radical Red makes Samurott's journey slightly easier by granting it the secondary skill typing. The hidden ability Sharpness, which boosts slashing moves as if they were stab, and Shell Smash, although at level 80, so LOL. With Razor Shell and Rad Red's buffed Cut, which is 75 base power steel type and boosted by Sharpness, you can run the slashing moves like Sacred Sword, Night Slash, X Scissor, and Aerial Ace as if they had stab. Go for a Swords Dance set with Aqua Jet as priority, flip turn as a pivot, or disrupt the enemy with Encore or Knockoff. Torrent and Shell Armor have their uses, and since Shell Armor, which prevents critical hits, is a normal ability, that means it could be gotten from Oak's lab, which makes Oshawott much more valuable early on, but they're largely outclassed. And Scarf's Sharpness sets are strong enough, but because Samurott only gets Shell Smash at the Elite 4, I can only put him as high as the A tier.
Royal Guard!
Chesnaught might just be my least favorite starter, which is a shame considering Chespin is so cute. Fortunately, Radical Red did buff him by replacing Overgrow with Bulletproof and replacing the hidden ability with Iron Barbs. Combined with Spiky Shield, Leech Seed, Spikes, and an Iron Helmet with Horn Leech or Drain Punch, Chesnaught can chip an enemy and stay healthy with good physical bulk, but will struggle in this a little bit thanks to poor defensive typing and its middling special bulk and speed. It does get very good coverage in Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, and Earthquake, and can even go for a fun Belly Drum Trailblaze set to get a sweep going, but this is more for fun than because it's good. I was shocked by how okay Chesnaught is, and when I used it, and with no disrespect, I will put him in the B tier.
It doesn't matter how old I am. Come on, it's not like anyone's gonna see us.
A true starter, Delphox started the trend of furry bait starters, but sadly this doesn't mean much for her power level. Radical Red buffed Delphox by granting it the amazing ability Magic Guard, an ability that completely negates any non-direct damage, which she abuses best by using a Life Orb 4 attack set, or a setup set, Flamethrower and Psychic Stab with coverage options like Shadow Ball, Aura Sphere, Dazzling Gleam, or Scorching Sands. It can mix and match its options with Will-O-Wisp, Calm Mind, and Nasty Plot to fit its team. Even though it only learns it at level 100 in the post-game, Blacephalon's Mind Blown is a devastating option for Delphox, and considering it now ignores it and Life Orb's recoil. Even if Delphox lost to Bryxon and Pokken, Delphox is back on top in the A tier. He never quits, and he never goes back on his word. That's his Greninja way. Greninja is back and better than ever. Currently in Scarlet and Violet, Protean has been nerfed alongside Libero because Cinderace was too strong in Gen 8. But thanks to Radical Red, Greninja can once again use Protean as it was meant to be used, transforming into the type of each move used to gain Stab, making Surf, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and Extrasensory or Hidden Power all gain a 1.5 times boost. With the very fun signature move Water Shuriken, a multi-hit priority move, and loaded dice, it manages to hit 60 or 75 base power for a powerful anti-Scarfer option. All this is pretty good, but Protean Greninja's power is kinda underwhelming compared to Cinderace and Meowscarada. But this isn't the only trick it has. Battle Bond is Greninja's other ability and activates when he grabs a KO, transforming into Ash Greninja, the franchise's one anime original Pokemon. Once battle bonded, Greninja's speed and offenses skyrocket, literally more than a Mega Evolution's worth. Water Shuriken also uniquely interacts with Battle Bond once transformed. Water Shuriken becomes 20 base power and always hits 3 times, even if loaded dice were used, which makes them worthless. While I think Protean Greninja has honestly fallen to A tier, Ash Greninja saves it and puts it right into S. Rowlet is so cute, and he's my favorite starter of all time. Well, except for the Kanto expansion pack, where alone rights you can be your starter, but we don't talk about that. Decidueye is so back, baby. Radical Red took away 30 special defense and put it all into speed, meaning he can actually outspeed something. Let's go! We're not even done. They replaced the virtually useless Long Reach with Tinted Lens, a beautiful ability that doubles the power of resisted moves. Perfect for a poor offensive type like Grass, and it means Ghost is completely unresisted. But wait, there's more! They gave Decidueye Zygarde's signature move 1000 Arrows by level up, which bypasses flying and levitate Pokemon, and covers its fire weakness, combining these with Swords Dancer Trailblaze, or even a 4th offensive option like U-Turn or Brave Bird. It becomes a decent sweeper, and can even use Shadow Sneak or Sucker Punch for priority against the super fast speed tiers. While I honestly can't consider Decidueye an S tier mon compared to those in there, I do think A tier is respectable, and if this was vanilla Decidueye, we would need a C tier. Look how far he's come. It's enough to make a grown them cry.
Did you pray today?
No.
Say it again.
No.
You didn't pray today?
I normally don't do my Bible study till nighttime.
Did you pray today? Did you pray today? Because
No,
if you didn't, I'ma have to dig you down on some gangster shit. Make sure that you're praying, bro. Making sure that you're...
The next furry bait starter, even casuals know Incineroar runs VGC due to its bulk, and that is definitely his best attribute. With Intimidate, which lowers attack on switch hit and decent HP, an Assault Vest will make him very beefy, and from there Stab, Flare Blitz, and the stat-ignoring signature Darkest Lariat are strong enough to get the job done, combined with Will-O-Wisp and U-Turn or Parting Shot to control the pace of the battle. He can get other Pokemon into the right time and win you a battle with the correct Intimidate, Burn, plus Parting Shot to get a setup sweeper going. It even gets an ideal move pool for a fire type with Close Combat, Earthquake, and Thunder Punch to hit whatever weakness you're worried about. But the middling speed will hamper Incineroar's ability to contribute quite a bit, so we'll put him in the A tier. Regulation A tier, VGC.
I'm gonna brown.
What?
I'm shitting!
Primarina girl, all she ever wanted was the world. She actually has seen a rise in Gen 9 thanks to fitting in well in the metagame, and functions very similarly in Radical Red as an OU, best used as a specially bulky, slow pivoting attacker. Liquid Voice boosts sound moves and turns them into water moves, which gives Primarina an accurate and powerful stab hyper voice. And with Moonblast, these pair best with Flip Turn and a coverage move like Ice Beam or Psychic. Calm Mind Draining Kiss can work in the right matchup, but is generally harder to get going due to her speed. Primarina is very simple and very good. I think she's given me a reason that it's the right season to put her in A tier. Actually, let's put the, the Alolan Trio, let's go. I guess it's DK64 because Sword and Shield look like N64 games, and just like Ocarina of Time, Rillaboom is already a classic. Rillaboom is one of the vanilla grassy terrain setters, which heals all grounded Pokemon at the end of each turn, powers up grass moves, and weakens some ground moves like Earthquake. Being possibly the best terrain setter who actually abuses it, Rillaboom adores Grassy Glide's priority in terrain, even if it's only 55 base power now instead of 70. Combined with modern day min-maxed attack, it can chunk a good amount with Glide and Woodhammer, shrugging off the recoil with Grassy Terrain's healing and Drain Punch, combined with high horsepower, which ignores Grassy Terrain's weakening of ground-type moves for coverage. It can go for a Life Orb or Choice Band to wreck whatever's in front of it with deadly power. Or with its okay 85 speed, use Choice Scarf and U-turn to revenge kill and control the terrain. Return to Monkey, in the S tier.
To make it worse, he was just a monkey.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
This generation's furry bait starter and also the next Protean user, Cinderace is very straightforward and simple to use. Its Libero ability was buffed by Radical Red and lets it switch freely between types depending on the move used. With an amazing signature Pyro Ball, it has a recoilless Flare Blitz that's slightly less accurate, high jump kick for great fighting coverage, Sucker Punch for priority, and U-turn for pivoting. With a Life Orb or Wide Lens, Cinderace's natural speed and power let it spam powerful moves. And it even has a second signature move in Court Change for hazard control, swapping field conditions, which is great for roll compression like Infernape, allowing it to clear Stealth Rock while setting it on the enemy in one move slot. Despite being simple, Cinderace is amazing. The S in S tier is for soccer, if you're a filthy American.
So look. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Gen 8 creates worst starter of all time, Asked to Leave. Sobble is hard carrying Inteleon for appeal, and Inteleon is like an okay fast special attacker. And its signature move Snipe Shot is 70 base power with a high crit ratio. Combined with Sniper, which brings crit damage to 2.25 times, this makes a crit with Scope Lens 50% likely and 236 damage with Snipe Shot. This is pretty good. And it does have coverage for its Grass Weakness and Ice Beam and Air Slash, and it can run Shadow Ball because it, has nothing else. Or it can use U-turn for pivoting. On a Rain team, Inteleon can start to get to those math equation damage outputs like Dracovish, but Dracovish and Mega Swampert and Ash Greninja are all much better Rain abusers. Not at all a bad Pokemon, just very boring and very lame. It's going in the tier. A tier.
For the last time, Parker, our pronouns are they, them. Not because we are non-binary, but because we are literally two niggas.
I probably should have put the Hisuian regional Pokemon next to their originals, but I like this one better. Hisuian Deicudeye was given some of the love Alolan Decidueye was by gaining 10 speed, and the amazing original ability Quill Rush, just like Emboar's Bull Rush, getting a 20% power and 50% speed boost on the first turn in battle. With Leaf Blade and its signature triple arrows to either flinch, crit, or lower defense, it can set up for Sucker Punch next turn to finish an enemy off in a deadly combo. With great options for the last slot in Zygarde's 1000 Arrows, U-turn for pivoting, Trailblaze for speed, or Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, and Triple Axle for coverage, H Decidueye would already be pretty good, but also has the option to run Striker, Blaziken's new ability, which boosts kicking moves by 30%, making Serena's signature Trop Kick, High Jump Kick, and Triple Axle all especially potent, with a Trailblaze to set up its speed or Sucker Punch for priority. I can't gas my goat up too much, and honestly he's just too slow, but Red Decidueye is B tier, where without these buffs he would be C or D tier, so again, massive respect to my mans.
Damn boy, were you just frying chicken in there?
I'm jumping off over there. What do you want to do with that, man?
Unfortunately, Blazing Soul was not given to Hisuian Typhlosion. Instead, Frisk was replaced for Flash Fire, which isn't nothing, and does synergize well with Ghost immunities to make it completely stonewall 3 different types. And 95 speed is decent, but it's just missing that oomph Blazing Soul gives Johtonian Typhlosion. She does have the perfect offensive set of Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, Aura Sphere, and Power Solar Beam to hit everything, but it doesn't have the immediate power or speed to use just a perfect coverage set. Thankfully, she's got other options like Will-O-Wisp, comboing well with her signature move Inferno Parade, which doubles damage on status targets, Scarf Eruption, Scorching Sands for rocks, which also works well with Inferno Parade, and Psychic to take advantage of fighting immunity and poison resistance. Still a good defensive pivot because it's a ghost and a decent special attacker with a decent move pool. I think Hisuian Typhlosion will haunt the B tier.
No more heroes, it's hero making you catch nobody but yourself, nothing less to do. No more heroes, no time to stand still if you're gonna be number one.
Travis, it's kill or be killed.
The Samurai of the West, Hisuian Samurott abandoned the ideals of Unovan Samurott and follows his own path, one of darkness. Thanks to this, Samurott gained the Dark typing and the signature move Ceaseless Edge, a 65 base power Dark move boosted by sharpness to a respectable 97 that sets up spikes on the enemy side while attacking. With the same slashing move pool as Unovan Samurott and Stab Razor Shell, Sacred Sword, Cut, Aerial Ace, and X-Scissor, Samurott uses a Choice Band well, and can also use a Swords Dance with access to Aqua Jet or Sucker Punch, and it gains Shell Smash near the Elite Four for massive late game power. It has a surprising 90 speed, so it can be a decent Scarfer to chip, while laying hazards or revenge killing. It might basically just be a kinda better Samurott, but that's fine when Samurott is a good Pokemon, and just like Samurott, it evolves from Oshawott, which can have Shell Armor as an early ability, making it better in the early game. Yeah, no prizes for guessing where this is going.
He copy my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
Hello, this is Kitty!
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck.
Fabled Gen 9 Pokemon, Meowscarada is here. Meowscarada distinguishes itself with its absolutely wild speed tier and decent attack, and actually finds itself buffed by Radical Red's re-implementation of Old Gen Protean. With a good move pool and Flower Trick, Meowscarada's signature guaranteed critical hit move, which ends up at an effective 105 base power, Sucker Punch for Scarfers and Weather Abusers, Play Rough for fighting and dragon types that resist your other moves, Triple Axle for Ice's great offensive coverage, and U-Turn for pivoting, Meowscarada abuses Life Orb to its fullest. Another simple and min-maxed late gen starter. All starters born after Gen 8 only knows Change State Type, Outspeed, and S tier.
Ice Spice What the Dog Doing, Scoop Toilet in Real Life only in Ohio, We Go Jim's Creatine Alpha Sigma Cadabor.
Okay.
Imagine making a Fire Ghost starter immediately after Legends Arceus and making it better than Typhlosion, lol. Skeledirge is a slow, bulky attacker, but has the amazing tool of Unaware, an ability that ignores opponent's stat boosts to allow it to fill this role better, ignoring the setup sweepers this game will throw at you. With the simply amazing Torch Song, an 80 base power move that also raises special attack, Shadow Ball, Earth Power, and Alluring Voice, it makes pretty good use of all of Choice Specs, Assault Vest, and Choice Scarf even. While it has the Will-O-Wisp Scorching Sands Hex combo, Encore, Slack Off, and Flame Charge can be mixed and matched onto a set and disrupt the enemy however your team needs. Pretty much completely unbuffed by Radical Red because it doesn't really need any help. Easy S tier, baby. Let's leave the monkeys together. Our final starter is the somewhat difficult to spell Quaquaval, a water fighting duck. Blessed with Moxie to boost attack after each KO and the perfect signature move Aqua Step, an 80 base power water move that raises speed, Quaquaval is an incredibly straightforward Pokemon who wants to snowball out of control. This is made incredibly easy thanks to its move pool, including Wave Crash, Close Combat, Brave Bird, Triple Axle, and Knockoff, giving it crazy strong attacks to grab that first KO and even Roost to get back some HP. Quaquaval would lose from the recoil. Quaquaval is an incredible bander and scarfer and will win a good amount of matches by jumping in and KOing something with Aqua Step, effectively acting as a Dragon Dance if it kills. Quaquaval steps into the S tier, no doubt.
Step into the Grand Tour. Step into the Grand Tour. Dragon Ball GT. Step into the Grand Tour.